They're actually starting to help his country give food out.
Vikas Kahana. He's an Indian Michelin star chef, and he's feeding millions from New York.
He already fed over 50 million Indians, and if you heard of his name, he was also on Master Chef India, and he also fed the Obamas.
Really? I didn't know that. Well, that's a pretty cool fact.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the name before, but then I had to look him up a little bit, and then it popped up. I'm like, oh, wow. Well, I know him more for feeding the Obamas. I didn't know about the Master Chef India thing.
I didn't even know they had a Master Chef in India. Like the TV show, right?
Yeah. Well, I figured once they seen how big it was in America. Also, I figured this out the more and more I watch TV. A lot of ideas are stole from different countries from America. Like The Office was originally a UK show. If anybody ever have a chance, watch the IT. And then it's another show called Skins in UK. But they try to make it American, and the American stuff is a lot watered down compared to UK TV shows.
Yeah. But his organization is called Feed India, and he claims that it's his greatest achievement to date, which I'm assuming even includes him being a Michelin star chef, which is, to a lot of chefs, is like a huge, huge deal. And for him to say that he would rather help feed people than really give a crap about his Michelin star says a lot about him as a person.
I mean, I feel like it would be the greatest honor in my life, too. Like, to be able to feed 50 million people so far. And he's still trying to get more and more. And the funny part is he thought it was a scam when he first was approached to do this.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, sometimes there are a lot of scams of people just wanting your money or, could possibly just want the food for themselves. You know what I mean?
Still like that, donate $1. Donate 1 penny and you can feed this kid in Africa. He looks so hungry. And they show like the worst of the worst kids. But they don't show us the big cities out there in Africa. I wonder why.
Why they don't show the big cities?
Yeah, I wonder why.
I mean, I don't know. I've seen some pictures. Even in some of those big cities, they still have a lot of infrastructure problems.
I know that, but I'm just saying, like, always a kid in a hut that had flies by him. But, I mean, to a certain extent, I think over there, a lot of them cities is like tribes. It's like, hey, we only kill animals to eat, and we don't just, like, kill animals just to kill animals.
Yeah. Well, actually, apparently, whenever he first started doing this whole thing, he actually did find out that his original email that he sent that made him want to start doing this was actually a scam. It was a picture that was copied from a government website, but his money was gone. So, but he said the image of India's destitute stayed with him. So that's whenever he had started tweeting out and trying to get everybody that he could all over India to help him and figure out the best way that he could to give food to all of the people that needed it, which he ended up doing. So, I mean, you can't, like I said, just for him, for me, that's just, I'm in awe still, sorry.
I am too. I feel like he's going to win a Nobel Peace Prize, so I wouldn't be surprised if next year, when we still doing this podcast, if you hear it first, you heard it first from here, he's probably going to win a Nobel Peace Prize. I believe so. Because to feed that many people is amazing. If more people actually do this, like let's say if the rich Japan people, the rich Americans, the rich Englands, the rich Mexicans, the rich people actually go back and actually try to feed their people instead of making the government do it, I feel like the whole world would be a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, it would be.
Because technically, the government already have a lot of stuff already. I'm just losing common sense. The government already have every rich thing to think about compared to you have a billionaire who could literally, and he's not even a billionaire, guys. He's probably just a millionaire. But let's just imagine the billionaires to actually go out there and just be like, hey, I'm gonna buy this land just so that we could farm. And with all this farm, all the food we farm is gonna be free for these communities.
Yeah, but it says that he teamed up with Chief of India's National Disaster Response Force just learned during the pandemic, and that's who's actually he's teamed up with right now to help deliver all of this food and help meet with all of the local people in India and all of the different companies and stuff like that that are helping to willing donate.
I mean, that's smart because you got to think about it. Technically, he's still in New York, so he's still working to try to his restaurant, trying to make money to keep doing this. But it's smart that he actually teamed up with somebody, the disaster unit, because they actually know where they could actually bring the food and help the people compared to, you just don't team up with somebody supposedly that's from India and they say, oh yeah, we could help you out, but then technically they just go around, steal all the money.
Yeah. It says now that, whenever he first started, apparently he did it all with his own money. And now he is actually backed by several Indian corporate houses, including Pepsi, India Gate, Quaker Oats, Hyatt Regency, and a global fund for widows. So that's pretty good. I mean, especially to be backed by Pepsi, because, I mean, that's a big company. I would say Quaker Oats, too, but that's actually owned by Pepsi as well.
I didn't never know Quaker Oats was owned by Pepsi.
Yeah, Pepsi owns a lot of things.
I figured that out the hard way. But I also think it's crazy that Pepsi actually stand behind him and do it, because, sometimes big companies like that not going to stand behind you. They rather just donate and act like they didn't do nothing.
Yeah, actually, Pepsi has a pretty good global initiative. Like, I know that they actually, their big people, or their bigwigs will actually go out to a lot of the countries. Like, say, for instance, they own Frito-Lay. So, Frito-Lay makes potato chips, right? But, we don't just manufacture potato chips in the U.S. and send them elsewhere. So, they have farms and stuff that they work with all over the world. And these corporate executives will actually go to these farms and say, hey, what do you need? What can we do to help you produce more? What can we do to make your lives better?
I mean, that's a good thing, because not only is Pepsi helping the farms get good crops, actually making the farm people like, oh, somebody actually cares, compared to like, they just going to try to cheat us out of our money.
Which, I mean, I'm not saying that they're probably all like that, but I know I've seen videos and stuff because the ex-president of Pepsi used to be, I believe, an Indian lady, and she was really nice, and she used to post videos, and I used to follow her, and whenever she was still president, and she, like I said, I could see her, and she would go out to farms and stuff like that, and explain exactly what they did, and how they helped out the farmers, and it was just a pretty cool all-in-all effort, so.
I mean, that's pretty cool, you really think about it, because it kind of showed that, like, sometimes the big people actually do help the small people. Now, if more big people like Amazon and let's think of other big companies, Microsoft, what's another big company? Nike can actually go in communities and help them out instead of just taking all the money.
Yeah, I'm just going to ignore the Nike comment because now I'm just thinking about Nike and Apple and what they do.
Let's not talk about Apple, because the sad part is I may not get the iPhone 12, but the Apple 13, I'm probably going to get it, the sad part. Because my phone's going to be old and slow. And it's going to be a decision of keep my phone and be slow or upgrade and get the faster phone.
I mean, I wasn't necessarily thinking of that. I was more thinking of how they underpay their workers and the working conditions a lot of these people live in. And then you're sitting here saying that they should, better their, or help people out. And I'm over here thinking like all these people, they're actually freaking their lives up. You know what I mean?
I mean, the more and more you think about it, yeah. Well, that's why I said they could pay their workers more. Because my whole thing is, instead of becoming a multi-billion-dollar company, you can become $1 million company. Like, it's nothing wrong. That's the main problem I have when a company like Apple or Nike, I understand it brings jobs to other countries, but instead of giving them a good pay, they give them like $1 a day. What type of... How can you feed your family? I know $1 a day over there is a decent amount of money, but how can you really feed your family off of that?
Yeah, but I mean, even then, a lot of these countries where you would think that, or where that used to be okay, now really isn't, especially with inflation. I mean, I'm just trying to think what it is. Venezuela, I believe I watched an article on, and like they were saying that like, what you make in a month is pretty much what it costs to buy a single hot dog.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, tell me about it. I was just like, that is sad. That is seriously, seriously sad.
And I can just imagine, like, that's how when people go over there, they kind of hate, like, America because it's like, you bring these companies and we see y'all living a good life, but y'all pay us so little.
Yeah, I know. That's a horrible thing, especially for as much as we charge for a lot of this shit. I mean, I get the companies have to make money, but the amount of money that they're actually making compared to what they cost to build it and shit. I mean, even develop it. I mean, I get in the beginning stages, a lot of shit costs a lot of money to develop. But afterwards, like, you know, come on now, cut us a break.
I mean, not only that, but I remember when you used to upgrade, all you had to pay was $300. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Now, it's like you got to pay this for 2 years, or you can pay right out your phone $1,000. And half these phones, you drop on the floor the right way, completely shattered. And then you try to act like, hey, my phone shattered. They're like, oh, that's not underneath your protection. But would you like an extra $50 for insurance? And when you get it, say it's not underneath your protection. So what the hell is the point in getting insurance?
I don't know. I don't buy into all that shit. You know that. I just buy my phones outright. That way I don't have no payment plans, nothing. Mostly just because I suck at payment plans. I won't lie. I'm not the best with money. I'm pretty good at spending it.
Well, as long as you're able to afford to pay it off, that's all that matters.
Yeah, true. But I know I'd be like forgetting there, and they'd be like, you owe 3 months. I'd be like, damn it.
They probably cut off your phone within 2 months.
Yeah, probably. But I suppose we'll move on to Turkey. Apparently the embassy in Turkey has been shut down to all visitors. And unless you're actual personnel there, you're not allowed in. Because apparently Al-Qaeda is threatening the people or U.S. people, because apparently we're bombing Syria pretty bad right now, and with all of the politics going on, we have no idea. Because I know I've never seen a story in a couple months.
Yeah, I haven't heard about Al-Qaeda in a while. And then for them to threaten and kidnap people, American citizens, is ridiculous. But it's understandable because you bumming that shit out of my house. If I can't hurt you, I hurt somebody close to you.
Yeah. But, I don't know, apparently they're worried about terrorist attacks and kidnappings. And apparently, I know one of the big people was actually, the consulate general in Istanbul was actually threatened. They wouldn't provide any details from it, but, you know, I mean, that's crazy. And then to basically shut down all of our diplomatic facilities to the public. Because, you know, what if I'm over there, you know, and you have nowhere to go? So what, you're just stuck?
Or just like how your Patreon episode when you lost your passport in Mexico, and then you trying to go to the embassy and they say they're closed, then you be fucked for real.
Well, yeah, I mean, even presently, I want to say there's like it's a long wait. Like, even if you are an American citizen, like, I want to say it usually takes like a month or two for them to actually get you back your visa or your passport.
But if they close, it's going to take even longer. Plus with the COVID stuff going on, oh, that's probably like 3 months right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be more worried about it just because I'm shutting it down. Like, say, for instance, like, what if you know somebody from Al-Qaeda's following you and you're just like, oh, shit, let me run to the embassy. And the embassy's like, nah, bitch, run. And then they're going to be like, oh, we got to get this American citizen back. And it's like, well, if you would have just had your damn doors open to begin with.
Pretty much. Well, see, that's why I always didn't understand, like, you an embassy. If I'm American, now I understand, like, certain times it's not good to, like, just go there, but if you feel like, hey, American life's in danger, I feel like as an embassy, I would, anybody that's in Turkey at the moment, please come to the embassy. You may be escorted out of Turkey to a different country.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they did do something like that, but I know in the article we're reading it did not say that they were trying to provide some way to get people out of there or trying to find ways to make people safe, which, I mean, going into a foreign country, you do basically run the risk anywhere of having anything happen. I mean, it's not America's right to protect you at all times whenever you're traveling outside of the U.S.
Yeah, most jobs when you go outside the U.S., depending on what the job. I know the military, they do hazard pay.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of jobs are for either hazard pay or like a benefit to going over there to work in a different country, especially a danger zone.
I wasn't really talking about that, but I mean, you do hold a point. But most of those people would actually have